Hello, my people. Good day to you, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whatever time zone you're listening to this, thank you for tuning in every single day to listen to me on Daily Mind Shift. My name is Michael Ojola for Mindset Transformation Africa, and in today's episode, I want to talk about impressing, just general overview of that. So, let me anchor today's episode on this statement. Today, practice the discipline of making an impression without impressing. Be fully content being who you are. Today, practice the discipline of making an impression without impressing. Be fully content being who you are. So today I want to talk a little bit about something that has been on my mind for a while, something we all struggle with, whether we realize it or not. And that is the difference between making an impression and trying to impress. Think about that for a moment. There is a subtle but powerful difference between naturally leaving an impression on other people versus exerting effort to impress them. One flows effortlessly from who you are. The other stems from insecurity, performance, and the need for validation. One builds true confidence while the other breeds exhaustion. So today, I want you to practice the discipline of making an impression without necessarily impressing. I want you to experience the freedom of just being who you are in a good way. No performance, no seeking applause, no bending yourself into something you are not just to win approval. Just showing up as you and not being okay with that, but being fully contented in it. That is what we are going to discuss today. So, and let's just get into it. There is the trap of trying to impress out there, and that is what I want to address. Let's be real. We all want to be seen. We all want to be valued. We all want to be appreciated, and there is nothing wrong with that. All right, there is nothing wrong with that. But when we feel the need to prove our worth, to constantly perform, to manufacture an image rather than just being who we are, we step into dangerous territory. We start curating our personality based on what we think will gain approval. We shrink parts of ourselves to fit into spaces that don't truly accept us. We amplify certain traits, not because they are real, but because they get a particular reaction. And the worst part is, it is exhausting. When you live your life trying to impress, you put yourself on an endless treadmill of external validation. Because here's the thing, if people are drawn to a version of you that is not real, then their approval is not real either. Let me repeat that. If people that are in your life right now are drawn to you, to a version of you that is not real, then their approval is not real either. And that means you are constantly working to maintain something that was never authentic in the first place. That is not freedom. That is not freedom. That is bondage to perception. You are bound to perception. And let me tell you something, it is never worth it. In the grand scheme of things and in the long run, it is never worth it. So what is the alternative? Just stop trying to impress. That is the alternative. Start making an impression. Stop trying to impress. Start making an impression. Here's the difference. Trying to impress is about perception. Leaving an impression is about presence. Let me repeat that. This is the difference between the two. Trying to impress is about perception. Leaving an impression is about presence. One is about managing how people see you. The other is about showing up fully and letting them take what they will. See, when you are just yourself, fully, unapologetically you naturally leave an impression. Not because you're performing, not because you're trying to stand out, but because authenticity is memorable. Think about the people who have left a lasting impact on your life. Was it the person who always tried to seem perfect? The one who carefully curated their every word and action? No. Or was it the one who was just real? The one who was genuine? Flaws and everything, they are just real. I bet it with you that it is the second one. It is the person who was genuine and the person who was real. Flaws and everything. Because authenticity resonates with people. Truth stands out. And people don't remember the ones who tried too much to impress them. They remember the ones who made them feel something real. Now, here's the real challenge, okay? Can you be fully content with who you are without needing to perform? Most people cannot. Most people are uncomfortable just being who they are without some kind of external validation. And why? Because they've never learned how to just accept themselves. Listen to me. If you don't believe you are enough, you will spend your life trying to prove that you are. Let me repeat that. If you don't believe you are enough, you will spend your life trying to prove that you are. And that cycle will never end, because no amount of external validation or external approval can fix an internal insecurity. But when you know your worth, when you are fully content in who you are, you no longer need to seek validation. You become validation. People are drawn to you because of your confidence in yourself, not because of any tricks or any performances or carefully curated images. No, contentment is magnetic. When you walk into a room completely at peace with who you are, people notice you. Not because you're trying to stand out, all right? Not because you're trying to make them see you, but they notice. But because self-assurance naturally sets you apart. They can feel it, that you are self-assured, that you are confident in your ability and in yourself. And let me tell you, that is more powerful than any performance could ever be. So, how do you now get there? How do you practice this discipline of making an impression without necessarily impressing? Here are a few things that I want you to do. Stop editing yourself. All right? Starting from today, stop editing yourself. Have you ever found yourself toning down certain parts of your personality just to fit in? Or maybe exaggerating other parts to get approval? That is editing yourself, and it is exhausting. All right? It is exhausting. Instead, I want you to try this. Speak your truth, even if it is not popular. Speak your truth. Show up fully, even if it is not polished. Show up. Let go of people pleasing. Even if it means some people will not like you, let go of trying to please them. Because the right people will always be drawn to the real you. And the ones who require a performance, I think they were never for you anyway. And you need to start paying attention to that. Also, pay attention to when you feel most free. Think about a time when you felt completely yourself. No pressure, no performance, no need to impress. What were you doing then? Who were you with? What made you feel so free? Whatever that was, I want you to do that more. Lean into that, because that is your natural space. That is where you thrive. That is where you are most alive. And that is where your true influence comes from. Also, detach from external validation. Let's be real. Most of us measure our worth based on how other people respond to us. How many likes we get, how many compliments we receive, how much admiration we earn. But here's the problem. If your confidence is based on external validation, then you're never in control of your own self-worth. So today, start shifting your focus. Instead of asking, how do people see me? Ask, how do I see myself? Instead of seeking applause, seek alignment. Instead of craving recognition, crave realness. Because at the end of the day, peace with yourself is worth more than approval from the world. It's important for you to know that you need to be at peace with yourself and practice showing up without apology. Today, go somewhere, anywhere, and just be you. No overthinking, no adjusting your personality to fit the room, no strategizing about how to be liked. Just show up fully. And then watch what happens. You will notice that the people who are meant to connect with you, they will. And the ones who don't, that is okay. Because your goal is not to be liked by everyone. All right, that is not your goal. Your goal is to be yourself, be your good self, be your improved self, be your great self, be your fulfilling self, be your purposeful self, fully and freely. That is your goal. So, if you take only one thing from this episode, let it be this. You don't have to impress anyone to make an impact. All right. In fact, the less you try to impress, the more real your impact will be. Because influence doesn't come from performance. It comes from presence. So today, I'm advising you, practice the discipline of being content in who you are. Walk into rooms without needing to prove anything. Show up in conversations without seeking validation. Live your life. Live it without apology. And watch how powerful you become. just by being yourself. Until next time,